how to deal with mental health, I initially asked question 2, which was name 3 mental health organizations.
I'd probably say Mind.
I would have said Mind. I would have said the Samaritans.
The Samaritans. Let me write something down because
NHS, definitely one as well.
Most definitely.
Yeah, there's a few.
NHS. In terms of NHS, does anyone actually know how getting help from the NHS mental health wise works?
It's time consuming, I know that, especially if it's on a scale of you're trying to speak to someone. You probably have to go on a list, wait, and be very responsive to when they give you information or appointments. But in terms of direct one-to-one help, I could not tell you. I know it would be a long period of time because the list is incredible. Like, I remember it first.
Okay. I think the only thing I know, I was always told to speak to your GP.
Yeah.
I was told to speak to your GP because the GP becomes the connection with everyone else that you're going to need.
100.
Which can be difficult, and if I was to give any advice to anyone, it would be persistent. And I think when you deal with mental health, sometimes you lose that persistence. You're like, but I've gone, but I've done it, and they just won't do what I need. They just won't do that. Sometimes bring an advocate. It helps having someone speak on your behalf and just say, listen, this is what's happening, this is what we're trying to do, and this is what we think will help.
Definitely.
And just constantly doing that gets you somewhere. As long as it's trying something different, you're on the way to actually finding out how to deal with it.
I feel like it's important to consider though that when you do go to your GP, they might give you medicine, which won't really help or just mask the pain away. Which is why there's a need for what we're doing right now, because when they give you that medicine, you're not gonna, it might feel alright for a little bit, but then you're gonna have side effects, and then you're gonna have all those other things. Like, I think one of the most important things in mental health is our physical health as well. So I think it all aligns with our mind, our body, and even our spirit as well. So I think it's better to find alternative ways in dealing with mental health, because hospitals and GPs, like, as much as the people that we work with, that are like the GPs that we see want to help us, but only they have the strict guidelines that they have to follow, and the institutions themselves don't really care about our mental well-being. You know what I'm saying?
There's a politics level that's beyond us a little bit with that one there, isn't it?
100%. Bills need to be paid, and the approach they might have might be very generic, so it might not be for specific people or conditions. It might just be universal, so everyone can get that treatment. So,
what you just said there falls deeply into a question I had put in a square box. It says, how does diagnosis affect mental health?
I think it's got a lot to do with mental health. It's got a lot
labels never help anyone, like at all. I feel like it puts you more in a confined space, which you might not want to be in. So if someone's like, it's like Googling symptoms. If you feel some type of way and you Google your symptoms, it's gonna say you die within like 24 days, stupid stuff like that. But I feel like with going into a discussion where someone's gonna diagnose you with what you may or may not have, or feel like, or you don't feel like you have, you need to take it with a pinch of salt, because it doesn't mean and that's the end result. It just means what they feel they can see when they speak to you.
Because they spend 5 minutes with you, bro. I did notice that, and you know what, I was upset with my mom for a while, because when I did tell her about my side of mental health, she was like, you don't have mental health. Why would you have mental health? You're always smiling, laughing, you're happy. And I said to her, well, I mean, at times, and she's like, how do you know you have mental health? And I said, well, GP. And she said, well, how long did you spend with your GP in comparison to how long you spend with the people around you? Like, fair enough, it wasn't so long. And it kind of taught me just to look at it differently. That's what they see, which means potentially that's what it could become. But if you work on it through different means, like you were saying, medication doesn't always help. I do agree to an extent where I say that if you are at a position in your mental health where you need the pull of the medication to help you first, while you're doing the other things to sort of align and balance you, I think as long as you are quite creative with it, there are definitely ways to combat mental health, especially because when we say mental health, we naturally think depression, anxiety, but there is a bigger dimension to mental health. So
I think it covers everything, to be fair, because if something's going to happen in our lives, first we have to think of it first. So the thought comes before action, you know what I'm saying? So the mental health goes and is the root of our lives, if you know what I'm saying. But that's why I tackled mental health on my side through philosophical videos from YouTube, just to help me see things differently. Because in my point of view, you can't tackle the thing with the thing itself. So you can't tackle problems of the mind with the same problems that are creating the mind, like that are created in the mind in the first place.
Or even the same mind itself. Like
the same mind itself.
To a different one.
That's it. Like overthinking, like is one of the main roots of mental health, because things aren't problems. It's just that we see them as problems because of our perspective. So sometimes the problems aren't really there. We just think about it too much. So that's where anxiety comes in, because we have fears over the future, or fears over the future or past. Well, we can't control it, but the only thing we can control is the present moment.
I think so. And I think there's when we talk about mental health, we say sometimes you see yourself in a box, you can't see too far. I think you can use that to your advantage sometimes. Like when we talk about meditation, bringing silence and actually bringing good energy to self, if you're going to call it energy, or if you're going to talk about prayer, spiritually, enriching yourself. And I think we suffer on things we don't really need to suffer on sometimes. Someone said to me, there are thousands of books which are written by people who are going through what you're going through and have come out the other side. Why aren't you reading them so you know how to get from where you are to where they got to?
Definitely.
So like you said, philosophical videos and books and things that you can read and stimulate your mind. Definitely. And I think I heard it when you said you might need a different mind sometimes.
100.
There's a verse which always says something about renewing your mind. And it's big for me, because I always think of, when you have a computer and you wipe the whole software and you bring it back and everything's okay. That's what you need with your mind sometimes. You just gotta forget everything and recalculate and restart again.
100%.
Recalibrate.
That refreshing is necessary, especially with the approach as well. Because sometimes people will think, okay, I need to combat this. Who do I call? Who do I research? Like, where do I need to go? Like, clinic-wise or whatever. But sometimes it's good to take a moment, like you were saying, with the stillness of silence, meditation or prayer, or like whatever brings you that kind of like peace, and just think about how you're feeling at the moment. If you can kind of conjure up a way of explaining it to someone, then you might be able to deal with it. But like I was saying, like through the thinking or the speaking to people that have been around you for a long period of time, I don't know, the creative outlet is good, because I'd say it gives you a canvas, metaphorical canvas, so to speak, and all your emotions can be the paint, and then you're painting it to see what comes out the other side. So you might be able to think about it a lot more. But it's all a learning curve. Like, it's a learning approach. Like, you never get it right 100% the first time.
It's processing it. Like, it's okay if you're not 100% every day. Like,
like no one is.
Did you know that, like, between the ages of, I believe it is 13 up until the mid-20s, like most people generally have mental health. They generally say in that area, that is where most people are depressed, most people are low and down. And I think when we're talking about diagnosis, like that, sometimes I feel like we should stop diagnosing altogether when it comes to mental health until people are past a certain age. Because if you tell someone that there's something, when you're coming from an authoritative figure, it's very easy to take on board.
I agree. 100%.
Very easy to take on board. I wanted to ask you guys if you knew any mental health misconceptions you may have had, like in the past or anything like that. Anything you now may have changed, but any misconceptions, any things which were like you believed were real but actually aren't.
For me, I'd say that that my mental health wasn't connected with my childhood.
Okay.
I say that's
wasn't connected to your childhood.
Because I feel like everything is connected to your childhood. In a way.
That's where you soak up the most information as well. So it's generally your preconceptions. That's the word. So the things that you pick up and start to believe from age. If you take them into adulthood without ever really challenging those, then you can tend to find yourself in pretty sticky situations.
Definitely. Like I saw that, like the love that your parents gave you, or the love that they didn't give you, was the love that is the way that you saw love in the future as an adult. So even your relationship with your parents is what defines you as a person, and what you see is love or hate or fear, even though someone might be doing something bad to you or draining you, but you might see it as they love me because they didn't listen to me, because that's all you know. So it's just these simple things.
Yeah. And I think all of that, again, if you bring that to someone and say, listen, someone you trust and care about, this is what's going on, what do you see?
Yeah.
They could tell you something and you think, wait, but I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't think that, that person was being hurtful towards me. I thought maybe when a similar situation, we help each other out. And it's like, if you look from the bigger picture, if you look from outside, maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that.
Yeah.
So I think that's
I don't think people are comfortable disagreeing nowadays. Like, people
Everyone
take things too far. Everyone has to agree. Like, it's okay. Like, growth and development comes from disagreements, because when you communicate properly,
There you go.
that's when you can start to grow and learn more, come to an understanding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I think it's big, because like if you find in work, the people that tend to go up to the higher positions are the people who can be told, that was terrible, don't do that again, but you did this well, and then they'll remember what went well and go, yeah, I'll build on that. So I think, again, with everything, I think there are principles which are set in place. Like with mental health, there are principles on how you would deal with it. But I feel like those principles become different on every single person. But they're general grounds of the same things.
I say one of the biggest misconceptions is how that the fact that we're not in control of it, but we are. The fact that we can't control our emotions when we actually can. And just like expressing your emotions, whether it's anger, whether it's fear, is something that you have to do, instead of just like stepping outside of your emotions and just looking at what you want to happen in the outcome.
100%. I feel like with the outlets that we have, like whether it's music, like playing musicians, like writing stuff, or sports and stuff, or creative outlets, it allows you to kind of play with those emotions. If you're angry, you might want to throw on like a playlist or like an ensemble of music that fixates on that emotion, or if it's anger, or if it's depression, or if you're happy. Like, it doesn't even have to be negative, but I do think it can play a part with what you add to what you're feeling. So if you're feeling one type of way, adding a load of stuff isn't going to help if it's within the same frequency. If you change that kind of wave you kind of trying to bring, it will have a different effect on you entirely.
Definitely.
But I don't know, linking back to your question, it's mad. I'd feel like it's the relationships you have with people, especially the relationship I'm in. I feel like that can change your perspective of how you see how the past things affect you now. So if you say something to someone and it's like, I'm feeling this kind of way.
Yeah, and it's again combating mental health,
Exactly.
connection.
So it comes back to calm.
Say no more.
What was that saying?
No, that was really good.
Well, actually learning something from it.
That's good.
No, I
love that.
Like that, especially the stats that you guys bring in, like you guys then talk about it, which is really good.
Trying to keep it personal, because
Creatively, like what do you think they do with that? Because those are like really good.